Hi everybody, it's Diane K. Brennan here at the Druidess's Den, and today's my birthday, and everybody kept saying, what are you doing for fun today? And my plans for today were to clean up my garage and pack everything away from the yard sale, everything that didn't sell, so that I can return the tables that I borrowed, and go out and weed. And I was like, you know what, they're right. I should do something fun today. I really should. Because it's my birthday, right? And so I found a VR. I was watching Nyx over at Key Features, and I was like, oh, this is a fun tag. Cool. So she did a VR to Tarot Curiosities by Nicole, a cottage witch. My laptop is there with my note so that I have all the prompts. So that's what I'm doing a VR to. And the very first prompt is for a favorite purple deck. And I'll tell you, I only have one. And so I bought this little set specifically for this tarot deck because I don't really care about the Oracle Boolean as much as I wanted this little mini Tarot de Marseille deck because I saw it on somebody's channel. I don't remember whose. It's been a while. And I was like, oh my God, it's purple. And I had to have it. And so it is this little Tarot de Marseille. By Ducer Cartomanci. It's been way too many decades since I learned French. I'm not meaning to mangle, but it even has purple edging, okay? But then there's a lot of purple in the cards. I mean, like almost every single card, if not every single, has purple in it, okay? That's the majors. I mean, the sun probably has the least, but there it is again. And it's a soft periwinkle purple that I love. And I mean love. I mean, like, look at the Knight of Swords. It's like these purples and fuchsias. The swords themselves are the periwinkle color. For the most part, some of them are pink. But then the flowers are purple. So even when you have a pink sword, you have purple in the flower. Oops, it's about to get out of order. Even in the coins, I mean, there's purple everywhere. You get the idea, right? Lots of purple. Now I got to put a card back. Oh, he was, okay. There he goes. That was easy enough. All right. And I think actually those swords are a dark purple. So that is my most purple tarot deck. That little tiny, it's also my smallest Tarot de Marseille deck. All right, I'll try to put that away later. Okay, next, a deck for rainy days. Now, I kind of took that as something you might need to sit and explore with just a little bit more because it's raining out, so you can't go out and weed or play in the garden or take a walk in the woods or whatever, right? So you're kind of stuck indoors. So for me, what I chose is the Shaman's Oracle. Okay. Comes with this nice little fold out sheet with the layout on it. And these are the cards. Here's the back. It's like a handprint. And this is all cave paintings from caves in Europe. So all of these images are taken from actual European cave paintings. And so it goes deep. I do the spread. This is one of the very few oracle decks that I actually do a reading by itself. And I do that when I'm actually really going to sit with that reading and take my time, look at the cards, how they relate to each other, how they relate to what's going on in my life. And, you know, that's going to be a longer kind of sitting in the space of the reading. So that would be something that I tend to do on a rainy day or a snowy day, or, you know, the kind where I can't go outside and do something and there's just not a lot to do. A deck that loves the mud. Now, I kind of got the idea that this is like an earthier deck, and I had a couple of ideas for that. And then I decided that no. The deck that really, really would love the mud is Froude's Fairy Oracle, which has a really nice big book. Right? I mean, it's fairies. They live outdoors. And these are very earthy beings. They absolutely, I mean, there's light beings, but then there are earthier and like froggier even beings that absolutely play in the mud. You know, so the pixies and stuff. So I consider that it's basically the Froude's Fairies as my deck that loves to play in the mud. And I have it in this very lovely earthy design bag from Night to Dawn Tarot. Love this bag. I actually have this same fabric on my Matrinoa. The last bit of that fabric got made into a custom bag for Matrinoa for the pocket size one. All right. The Fiercest deck that I have isn't a specific deck, and I forgot to pull one out. The Fiercest deck is really a system, and that would be my playing cards. Because when I'm looking for the bare bones truth, I want a deck that is going to be absolutely in my face honest and not pull its punches, not be soft about it. Whether it's for me or a client, when I'm doing client readings even, and I want like, you know, this is like my total yes, no deck, is to go to, and this is the Fae cards by Bicycle, just because that's the deck I pulled out. And hey, I just did fairies, and I guess the fairies still want to play. But I pull playing cards when I want fierce honesty. No BS. Give it to me straight. Then I'm going to look here to the purest cartomancy there is. And what deck I pull is going to depend on my mood. All right. So that's Fiercest. Like I said, system. It's going to be the playing cards. Absolutely. All right. Going the opposite way, a deck to brighten your day. For me, if I need my day brightened, no question about it, that is going to be the absolute cute and sunny Pipspeak Tarot. Where those are the bright, colorful backs because they're bright, they're sparkly. Look at all that gold. If this deck doesn't cheer you up, right? So a deck to brighten my day because they're colorful, they're sparkly. These are just beautiful cards. And they do brighten my day. They're whimsical. They're cute. and they absolutely brighten my day every single time. So that's the Pip Speak. Now, a deck for anxious thoughts or overwhelm. Here I went into another oracle deck, and it is the Creative Consciousness Healing cards, which I think I have back in order because I really kind of wanted to go through them. I have not edged this deck yet. I'm going to, actually, maybe tonight I'll sit and do that because I have the perfect edging tool for them. This is also very earthy. This could have gone in the play in the mud, but it was a little too bright and colorful. I mean, the Froud's Fairies are more of like in those browns, dark blues and things. But this is something that softens when you're anxious, and it has cards that are about calming and healing. Breathe, nourish. Purple diamonds. Nurture. I mean, this is a very healing, nurturing, relaxing deck. It's what it was created for. So that is the Creative Consciousness Healing deck when I want to calm my thoughts because I'm anxious or I'm overwhelmed or stressed by something. All right. A deck to help you out of a creative slump. Now, I am not one of those people. Like, I'm not a writer. I'm not an artist, so I don't do a lot of creative works. But the most creative deck I have, if I was in some kind of creative slump that I would reach for, is the Tarot de Ozarks. Because this really, like, I tried this as my working deck one night on the service that I read for. And boy, I'll tell you, this just, like, this opens you up because it's what I call a messy deck. Like, I don't do a lot of the facsimile decks that are off of the old wood block designs and everybody's outside the lines and all of that. And I mean, I get it. I know that's the way it was. But this is one of only two that I have that are messy decks. And this one's intentionally messy. The other one is more, it's taken after one of the wood blocks and it's not cleaned up. But this is bright and colorful and fiery colors and some dirty colors, and it's smeary and it's... And I guess because it does play outside the lines and it does get creative with its coloring, that this just really opens me up. So if I'm also having a night where I'm working and I'm feeling a little bit blocked, even though this is a little large because it's a standard deck, when I'm working online, I'm working in a tray on my lap, so I have limited space. So smaller decks like the mini Metanoia and the pocket edition of the Matronoa work better. I don't have to go quite as mini as that purple deck that I showed. I don't have to go that small. But I do have to be in a smaller size deck, typically. All right. My Witchiest deck. And I haven't used this yet. I got this deck. I love it. But it is the Mystic Whispers. I actually had this on my September list to pair with my Spanish Tarot Vintage Edition. And I have decided I really don't think I can wait until November to work with the Matronoa as my deck of the month. Although I still might push that back to November because I am working with it already. I started early with it as my working deck. But you can see this is the backs. So this deck actually features witch. Not that I don't consider, like, all of these decks are witchy, okay? But this has witches on it. So that's why I chose this to be my witchiest deck. And it's like herbal and nature. This, again, could have been the play in the mud as well for that reason, because it's all nature, cottage. It's kind of in like cottage core. So this is my Witchiest decks. Potion bottles, crystal balls. You know, it's got all the witchy elements, right? So if you're really going to go for witchy, that'd be the one. But personally, every single deck is witchy because witch covers so much. Alrighty. Most inventive guidebook. And this is another one that really could have been under my witchiest deck too. But the Cantagy Oracle. Hands down, of every single deck I own, this has the most creative guidebook. I love this deck. So it is the Song of the Earth is what Cantagy is referring to. It is a word that was created for the deck. That's the back. It shows an atoll with like the web of life around it, right? The spider web going out, making the web of life. Now this is currently in order because I'm working through the year with it. So I've got to be careful with this one, but they're so bright and colorful. But the guidebook, I mean, like, okay, this week's card is a thorn in the paw. And just to give you an example of this guidebook and how it's written, so it gives you a story, and this one's short, but it starts out, it's like, it tells the story of Bear awakening one late summer morning to find that as he was walking along, he noticed a sharp pain in his paw, and that, you know, he found that he had this thorn sticking in his paw, so he sits down and he pulls it out. So it tells the story. Most of the stories start as, you were walking along in the woods one day, and this is one of the few that doesn't start that. It says Bear awoke. Usually it's you. And then it gives you keynotes and symbology and guidance. Talks about, in this case, removing the external thorn. And so there's quite a lot about that, about self-care and things like that. Drop the thorn, but keep the rose. As an icon, as a portal, as a practice, and as a creative prompt. And then the ecological connection of the card. But the names are creative. Like next week's card is Clouds Pass, but the mountain remains. You know, this is a brilliant, brilliant deck. It was written by Ray Diamond. The art is by Laura Zuspan. I love this deck. I am in love. By the way, it goes really well with the Metanoia Marseille. If you're looking for an oracle to pair with the Metanoia, the pairing that I never ever wanted to put down that I played with last year was the Metanoia Marseille for a month with the Cantagy Oracle. And like, I could have kept going. I would have loved to have used that pair for like a year. All right, my two total favorite decks. All right. Favorite book for going beyond the tarot basics, and I forgot to grab it, so I'm just going to mention it because I'm not going over there and grabbing it off the shelves now. But it is Read Like the Devil by Camellia Elias. Really, anything by Camellia Elias is going to take you beyond the basics, and it's going to take you really deep into reading the Tarot de Marseille. But to me, the one that really goes beyond the basics is Read Like the Devil. It's the course that I took with her. I took both the fundamentals and then the advanced, and then she came out with that book series, the Read Like the Devil for the Tarot de Marseille, the Lenormand, and the playing cards, and I have all three. So the Read Like the Devil, all three of them to take you beyond the basics. And then a YouTuber who inspires your creativity. So I'm going to name two. The first one, Ina from Taproot Tarot. because she looks for different ways to explore with the cards. And then watching her in different decks. Oh my goodness, if anybody's enabling me on purchasing decks now, Ina. Bad for my bank account. All right. But she's very creative. Her deck collection is just absolutely, she's got decks I've never seen or heard of before. And she is enabling me to get out there and purchase quite a few. But then she turned me on to somebody who has just written a book, and I have the book, I've got his first book on order. His channel is Pure Cardomancy. He does come from a background of playing cards. And then Tarot de Marseille. He and I share a lot of very similar views, although not exactly the same. There's a few things I kind of disagree with him on. For example, I'm not a big fan of casino cardstock because it's plasticky. And so it's very slippy, and I don't like that. Like the Tarot de Ozarks just slides. Pagan Otherworlds is casino cardstock, and it's just, I don't like that. They're also very hard to edge because they're plastic coated completely. But that is Manifestales. Manifestophiles. Manifestophiles. Yes, Manifestophiles. I'll put a link to his channel down below in case you're curious. But he is coming up with 2 very creative, different ways to create tarot spreads. So if you like different ways to do it, and especially if you are exploring with cardomancy, not the esoteric tarots, and he and I are like this. We're both very anti-esoteric tarot, okay? Rider-Waite-Smith and all the Golden Dawn stuff. I don't do it. Neither does he. So we have that in common, big time. He's just a little harder nosed about it. Like, he makes no bones about it when he talks about it and how he feels. So if you're going to get offended by that, don't watch him. But if you're trying to learn cardomancy, so what he's done, he has created 2 different methods, and one is playing blackjack, because as he says, and it's true, tarot is a game. It started out as a game, but these are ways that you can use game rules with cardomancy and make your own playing card spreads or tarot spreads. So that's one. And the other he's working on is using the rules of poker. And it's my understanding, the stuff I'm watching where he said he was almost done and ready to publish that book were from like a couple of months ago. So that book may be published now. I'll have to see. I'll have to look. He's on Reddit. He has his own Reddit group, which I've joined. I think I might be the only, it's not a big group. If you're interested, reach out to me and I'll link it. Otherwise I won't bother, but he mentions it on his channel. So if you watch some of his videos, so Ina and Manifestophiles, and that's all I know that he goes by. I don't know a first legal name for him, birth name, whatever. Everywhere he is, that's what he's under. But he's very interesting. He's very knowledgeable, very experienced with cardomancy. I don't know if he's in Belgium or France, but somewhere in that part of the world, I believe, from the accent. Speaks English very fluently. And he's just very creative in his approach to cardomancy because he definitely comes from that gaming standpoint with it because he is a gamer as well. So anyway, that is my VR to Tarot Curiosities. Thank you for Nicole, a cottage witch, creating this fun tag. I've enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoy my responses. I'm sure I've shown some different decks than you're going to see on anybody else's channels. Much love, much light, many, many blessings, and peace out.